the Dead is a Mexican holiday that occurs at the beginning of November. Death is usually accompanied by grieving, however, this holiday is a celebration of life. It is believed that the spirits of those who have passed can come and visit the living during these days to celebrate by dancing, eating, and drinking with the living. This holiday is a combination of indigenous rituals, All Saints' Day, and All Souls' Day. Families build altars and practice rituals. They bring the deceased's favorite food, pictures, and other things that celebrate and represent their loved ones' lives.
To me, I think it's remembering loved ones, and it's also taking the scariness out of death. I know that a lot of Mesoamerican peoples for centuries have felt close to the dead, and it's the thing that I think we kind of try and isolate here in America, put people off in cemeteries and not think about them. And traditionally in Mesoamerica, they actually, like would build houses for the dead next door to their own houses and things like that. So, I think it takes the fear away from them.
I think that's really powerful.
The Day of the Dead altars can have several levels, each one with a different meaning. Altars oftentimes can range from 2 levels and sometimes up to 7. The different levels represent Catholic and indigenous beliefs. The top level symbolizes heaven, while the middle level represents the earth, and the lowest or the bottom level symbolizes Mictlan, which is the Aztec underworld. On various levels, people place offerings, also known as ofrendas, that were the deceased's favorite items. The candle on the altars represent fire and are used to attract spirits to the altar, in addition to incense, which are supposed to help communicate with the spirit world. A popular flower used for the altars is the marigold, which is sprinkled on the floor leading up to the altar. The altars are typically covered with photos or possessions of the deceased loved one. Another important symbol, part of the Day of the Dead celebration, is a skull, or in Spanish, la calavera. A skull comes in the form of a toy, candy, puppet, or figurine, serving as a symbol for the dead. The most popular image of the skeleton is called La Catrina, a female skeleton figure who wears a wide-brimmed hat and dress.
Well, it's getting to be more and more important to me. Today, I'm really aware of how sweet it is to remember the people that we cared about and still care about, and that cared about us, and that aren't here, but are, because their being was a part of this place and part of all these people. And it's so incredibly sweet to be able to share that with each other. And in a way, it's almost like a prayer. I know that sounds kind of hokey, but it's like offering something into a sphere we don't understand. I hope we never figure everything out. Oh, and I don't think we will, because the chance of that is that, tiny people on this big planet in this huge universe. So it reminds me of that. It reminds me of how incredibly huge it is, and yet it's right here and all this pretty stuff that people, it's sweet everyday stuff. That's the thing that I love about it. People I saw a pack of cards there. Here, this is for you, Granddad, even though you only need half of them. So he probably played pinochle or euchre. And matches or memorabilia from a concert, or that stuff is, when you're living life, that's not the important stuff you think, but then when you lose somebody you love, it is the important stuff. It's the stuff that brings them back to you. It's a talisman. And
One important aspect of honoring the departed is to add food and drinks that they would have enjoyed to the altars. These often include items such as tamales, pumpkin seeds, and alcohol. In traditional belief, the essence of these offerings are then consumed by the spirits. In addition, many traditional festival foods are shared among the community. This act of gift giving enforces both familial and community ties, creating reciprocal relationships and facilitating hospitality. As with other Day of the Dead traditions, the foods associated with the celebration developed from both Spanish Catholic and indigenous foodways. One of the most closely associated foods is pan de muerto, a round sweetbread that commonly adorns altars and can represent the deceased. Sugar skulls are also common, and are sometimes made out of amaranth or chocolate instead. They are generally placed on the altar or given as gifts instead of being consumed, and incorporate designs meant to represent the vitality of life.
I first was experiencing it myself, had some people kind of come in and immediately think there's something evil or bad or like satanic about it, which could not be further from the truth. I mean, it is a celebration of life. It's a celebration of people that are no longer here, and so I think it's a mixed. It's a mixed, but it seems super mainstream these days. Like somebody bought me a bag from TJ Maxx, had a huge Day of the Dead skull on it. You know, you see it's all over the place. I mean, Kroger has like toppings you can get for cupcakes that have sugar skulls on them. So it is becoming more mainstream, which I think is good, to educate, more people about what it really means.
I'm wearing La Catrina, which is like the basic image of the female skeleton, I guess. So traditionally they have flowers, painted white face with black around to look more like a skull. There's a lot of different variations. Sometimes they have spider webs or crosses. Mine just has little flowers around my eyes. I'm wearing just like traditional Mexican clothing, I guess.
During the Day of the Dead celebrations, a lot of women dress up as La Catrina, and so did the volunteers outside La Casa, who were dressed up in costumes inspired by La Catrina and wore face full of skull makeup. At the Canterbury House, there were candle decorating sessions where people decorated candles and lit them in honor of their deceased loved ones.